What is up? It's your main guitar instructor, Miles, with Guitarfluence, and today we're going to be learning about 9 advanced guitar techniques, and there's an accompanying lesson with extra resources in the description below, so check that out, and let's learn about these 9 advanced guitar techniques. So, the first technique is a more modern technique, and it's called selective picking, and selective picking is a technique used by Tosin Abasi from Animals as Leaders, and he's got a great lesson on that with Ben Eller, and of course recently did a video with Rick Beato, Devin Townsend, and John Petrucci where he showcases his selective picking technique. But let's take a look at what that looks like. And really, to break down selective picking, it's a mix of hammer-ons from nowhere, alternate picking, and sometimes muting, but really that's about it. So for example, I'm just gonna pick the first 3 notes of this line, and then I'm gonna hammer on from nowhere for the next 6 notes. All right, so that's an example of selective picking. Another example is just this intro from one of the Animals as Leaders songs. And all I'm doing there is you've got this power chord at that 3rd fret of the low E, and then you hammer on the 3rd fret low E and the 5th fret A, and then you pick that 5th fret A twice. So you get hammer, hammer, pick, pick. And like I say, this technique by itself could be a whole lesson by itself, and like I say, check out that lesson with Ben Eller and Tosin Abasi on selective picking. And the next technique that we have is hybrid picking. And hybrid picking is when you use the pick and the fingers at the same time. And so this can be used to pick guitar chords, can also be used for, guitar licks. And don't limit yourself to just your pick and middle finger. You can also incorporate your ring and pinky fingers. All right, so that's hybrid picking. And then next we have string skipping. And string skipping is an awesome technique because, well, it's not necessarily a technique, but it just opens up the fretboard. So for example, if you're playing a diminished arpeggio, rather than sweep picking it like this, you could instead skip strings. And that way you're just keeping the same shape over and over again. So one of my favorite diminished arpeggios, and one used by a lot of other guitar players, is just this really simple arpeggio on the G and high E strings. So if you want to try that out, go to your 5th fret G, play 5 and 8 with your index and pinky fingers, and then skip a string, skip down to the high E, and play the same frets, 5, 8, 5, 8, and then move up to the 8th fret and play 8, 11, 8, 11, and then you just keep moving up 3 frets at a time. So really, string skipping allows you to access lines, arpeggios, licks, and phrases that you just wouldn't otherwise be able to access. Or if you did access them, you'd have to use another advanced guitar technique to play that line. And that brings us to our next advanced guitar technique, which is economy picking. And economy picking is simple. It's where whatever pick stroke you end on, you're going to start the next string on that exact same pick stroke. So for example, if we end on a downstroke on the low E, then we'll start on the A string with another downstroke. So if I play 5, 7, 8, I'd go down, up, down. And then if I hit the 5th fret on the A string, I'd use another downstroke. And that's following the economy of motion, because we're going down, up, down, 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 up, down, down. And that's the basics of economy picking. And of course, the same applies when you're moving upward. I'd go up, down, up, up. All right, and definitely check out, I have another YouTube video about economy picking exercises, so you can look at that to learn more about economy picking. And then kind of the child of economy picking is sweep picking. And sweep picking follows the economy of motion, but you're only using one note on each string, and you're moving in a sweeping motion. So you'd be going down, 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 up, 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 up. And this is generally used for triads, like your cage triads. So that's an example of sweep picking right there. Because as you can see, with my picking hand, I'm going pick, hammer, down, 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 up, pull off, up, 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 down, which sets me up to restart the sweep. All right, so that's sweep picking, and I also have a lesson on sweep picking on my channel. And then our next advanced guitar technique is harp or tap harmonics. And what you can do for this type of harmonic is you'll pick a fret, let's say the 2nd fret G. And then you want to find the octave on that same string. So in this case, the 2nd fret G, the octave will be at the 14th fret G. And what you can do is you can either play a harp harmonic or a tapped harmonic. So for a harp harmonic, you take your middle or index finger, and then with the thumb behind it, you'll pluck it, and it results in a harmonic. And you have to make sure you pull away from the string. And then, instead of playing it as a harp harmonic, you can also tap that note. And this results in a bell-like chime. And of course, if you've heard harmonics before, like a natural harmonic at the 5th fret, or the 7th frets, or the 12th frets, then you're probably familiar with that sound. So that's a harp or tapped harmonic. And then the next advanced guitar technique is 8-finger tapping. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not a great 8-finger tapper. That's why I use a lot more hybrid picking and economy picking. Is just not my forte. But 8-finger tapping is where you use the 4 main fingers on your fretting hand and the 4 main fingers on your picking hand in order to play notes usually on the same string, but you can play across multiple strings too. And an easy way to get started is with a bucket head technique called nubbing. And so, for example, if we're playing at our 6th and 5th frets of our low E, we can go up an octave to the 18th and 17th frets and use our middle and index fingers to pull off. And that's called nubbing, and that's using 4 of our 8 fingers. And the reason I don't do it a lot is because my nails are growing out and it makes it more difficult. But you can use all 4 fingers, so we could go 8, 7, 6, 5, and then with our picking hand, we'd go 20, 19, 18, 17, and that would give us. Like I say, it's really tough for me, but maybe you can do it, and it could become one of your favorite techniques. And then the next technique that's advanced is galloping. And I know what you're thinking, like a basic gallop for a song like Barracuda, that's pretty straightforward, right? But when you start to listen to some metal bands like Meshuggah or, I don't know, Periphery, Iced Earth, then you'll start to hear some really intense gallops that are ultra fast and really difficult to execute. And oftentimes, rather than just being a down, up, down, there'll be a down, down, up, down. And like I say, I'm not great at Galloping myself, especially at the level of a band like Meshuggah, but it's a really fun advanced guitar technique and definitely worth adding to your arsenal of advanced guitar techniques if you're a metal guitar player. And then the last technique is tremolo gargles, and I guess other tremolo picking techniques. Sorry, tremolo bar techniques. And so a tremolo gargle, which is also called a flutter, is where you pick a note and then you like flick the whammy bar backwards like this. And that's a flutter. And you'll hear them used a lot by John Petrucci and Steve Vai and other guitar players who use the whammy bar really consistently. So that's our 9 advanced guitar techniques. We've got selective picking, hybrid picking, string skipping, economy picking, sweep picking, harp and tap harmonics, 8-finger tapping, galloping, Meshuggah style, and tremolo gargles / tremolo flutters. So that's it for today's lesson video. Please like and subscribe and let me know in the comments below what technique you're going to work on right now. Make sure it aligns with your guitar playing goals and your musical goals. And once again, thanks for watching. You're awesome and have a great day.